Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Football Pundits. This is our Premier League season reviews series that we're doing, and in today's episode, we're going to be looking at Manchester City. Aniket, I'm going to just jump right into things. For a lot of people, Pep not winning the Champions League after Barcelona is a big thing, right? Couldn't do it
Yeah,
with Bayern, has not been able to do it with City. This season, arguably, was the best chance with single leg, this, that.
definitely.
Did some overthinking and got done with it again. Do you see this as a pattern with Pep, or do you think he can take City to glory this coming season in the Champions League?
Yeah, point taken. I was initially actually in that camp where where no Messi, it's a big issue for him. I wasn't in that camp, to be honest. But more recently, if you look at it in the last 3 years at least, the Liverpool game, the Spurs game, and now most recently the Lyon one, you cannot. No one's calling him a fraud or anything like that. But you cannot get away from the fact that he has deteriorated with his lineup, with his system. He went three at the back against Lyon when he did not do that for most of the season. Look at the Spurs game, he left Sane and De Bruyne on the bench for the first leg when they were clearly so needed in that game. And if you have a look at the Liverpool game in 17-18 City was unbelievable. But again, he tinkered with his lineup, brought Gundogan and Bernardo Silva, I think it was in that first leg, and they got gained at Anfield. So that little stupid tweaking of things here and there is what's cost City now and again. And I definitely think Pep can do it. He's proven as a manager that he can do it. But what in a league season, for example, if you do overthink things, you go wrong in a game here and there, you can make it up in the rest of the season. But in a one-off or a two-legged UCL tie, you can probably go out. That's how I'd look at it for City. But no doubt, the Champions League, at least for this season, again for this season, is their holy grail. As much as they want to get the title back from Liverpool.
I think it's so weird that we talk about City in such a context where they are currently one of the best squads that we've seen, right? Over the last 2, 3 seasons, there's no denying that they are a great team. They play great football. They're very attacking. They're a scary opposition to face. But even in the league last year, they fell far, far behind Liverpool. I mean, obviously, Liverpool put in an unreal season, but they still didn't hit the points marks that City did the season before that, obviously, because they didn't have to after a point. They've trailed off in the league as well. Do we see this then this coming season? Do you see it as one which is deteriorating further for City? Or do you think Pep is going to bounce back the coming season?
I mean, it's it would be very naive for us to say that Pep Guardiola is definitely going to bounce back. I kind of agree with Aniket, where he said that there are signs. The signs have been there. You brought it up about Bayern Munich, his inability to win without Messi. You come back to Manchester City. He's got all the money in the world to build a squad. He has spent more than 250 million just on the defense, right? I spoke about this in our Chelsea preview. It is possible that Aguero not being fit, Jesus not coming into that number 9 role. He's got 2 years now. Yes, injuries have played a part, but he's got a good run in, right? You notice the game against Chelsea. What was the biggest failure when they lost 2-1? Right? Who was there? Who was able to fill that role? They didn't replace Company, which is why they're going to go after Koulibaly. Koulibaly, as of this video, is not been sealed, but will be sealed by the way it looks like 75 million. Let's assume Koulibaly does come, right? So that's a solid defense, you would think. They've already shot up midfield last year. They got Rodri in, right? Because Fernandinho is old. While Fernandinho is a great servant to the club, played centre back last season, that was a problem. That's the reason why I feel they finished 20 points behind. Fernandinho centre back didn't work out for them. If you ask me if Carrick played for United centre back all those seasons ago, United would have not finished in the top 4 either. That's how bad it would have been, right? But apart from that, why are we assuming that City are going to completely bounce back? Is it just that one Koulibaly signing will get them back? I am not 100% sure. And nor am I sure about Liverpool, guys. I don't know what Liverpool can compete either, but let's not look at Liverpool too much. I feel, in fact,
we'll save Liverpool for the Liverpool.
I, in fact, feel that the chasing pack is now catching on to Pep's game as well. And this definitely is a make or break season for Pep Guardiola, looking at the money he's been given.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely been given a lot of money. But yeah, we've seen now, and generally we've seen with Pep's teams, Aniket can obviously correct me if I'm mistaken with Bayern, but he's not really been in charge of squad rebuilds completely as such. He has those main players and he sort of brings in additionals and work his game, right? He obviously signs a lot of players, but the spine is always there. But now with City, you're seeing Company is gone. David Silva is now gone. Yaya Toure is gone. Aguero is the last person who's left from that initial
That core, correct.
core. And this season, I'm pretty sure we're not going to see Aguero feature that much because, as Annie rightly said, injuries do play a problem with
Yeah,
him.
definitely.
Jesus has not been able to step in. So, Aniket, where do you see this squad? They've obviously made a couple signings. Where do you think they're falling short, or where do you think, what are the signings you think he needs this season to win the Premier League and win the Champions League? Because that's the bar City have set for themselves. And Pep.
Sorry,
So I
Aniket.
mentioned.
Aniket, sorry, before you speak, I'll just add a clarity to my statement there. I'm not saying Man City will finish out of the top four, but I am not
Right,
They're
seeing
just
them.
saying this. They're
I'm
just
not
saying that they're
saying.
not going to be
Yeah,
as dominant and far ahead.
I don't think Liverpool,
But
City are going to be that far ahead. That's about it. And I think Pep Guardiola really has
that's
to. Yeah, Aniket, go for it.
that's a given. I'll get to that. You know what? So I mentioned this off air, but like you just said, that core's now gone. So now if you look at the City squad, other than Fernandinho, for example, I don't see a presence in there in that a proper leader, which is probably why they're going for Koulibaly. Laporte isn't exactly that voice in their defense. To marshal things, he kind of looks after. Similar to Bonucci, for example, when he's alongside Chiellini. Chiellini is that guy who will marshal the defense. He's the leader out back there, which is what I think Koulibaly can be for this defense. Regarding the where you think City could be and how they could finish this season, this is a very special season, by the way, because you're trying to fit in the entirety of the season in 1 month lesser than what it would normally be otherwise. So I actually think City are very, very well equipped here because if you look at the obvious comparison now has to be Liverpool, who won the title by 1,000,000 points last season. They have probably 4 or 5 positions where if they get an injury, the drop off in quality is massive. For City, you could probably say that's Laporte and maybe one or two others, but they have quality coming in off the bench. Guys like Ferran Torres have come in to replace, to come off the bench. Guys like Zinchenko, who he's essentially a backup left back right now because I'm calling him a backup left back just purely on yesterday. I saw Nathan Ake play left back yesterday for Holland. He was solid. He was not anything great going forward, but I felt like that's what Pep might have brought him in for, just a bit of surety at the back, maybe in some of the bigger games at left back. And then you've got guys like Rodri, like Gundogan. This is probably Phil Foden's season. Jesus is still a bench player if you think Aguero is the main man. If you look at the quality of this City side, I feel like in a season like this, where you're going to have 4 trophies, that's a different argument. Why do you have that? But in a season like this, I feel like City are most well equipped as compared to any of the bigger teams in terms of quality.
I mean, he's obviously right about squad depth, but he also touched upon mentality. And this is where City found themselves lacking last season, right? Because, I mean, the bench strength was more or less the same, apart from, say, a couple of defenders, of, say, Nathan Ake who's coming in now. Bench strength for the attacking positions were probably the same. In fact, one could argue it was maybe better with Sane still featuring in a couple of games, even though he's injured for most part, right? The mentality, though, do you think that will make them suffer again this season, or the signings that have come in are enough? Who do you think the squad needs? Because clearly they need something, right? There's something lacking. All of us are feeling it.
Yeah, Kaun, so I think your point again is twofold, right? Remember that they won 4 trophies in that season before that, with De Bruyne injured for most of that season. But they had Kompany there, who was a leader and captain. And his winning goal, when he shot that shot, right? And when Aguero said, no, Vinny, no. They missed that leader. That is one part of it for me, right? They're missing a leader. Fernandinho is a good servant. He's been really good for them. In fact, along with the likes of Silva, he should not be such an important figure for them, right? But I don't know if he's got... I think it's just a level below Kompany, right? So Aniket said Koulibaly could be that captain. Definitely could be that presence coming in, marshalling it from the back, right? There's a reason why people prefer centre-backs as captain. They marshal the side from the back to the front. But I feel I'll give City some slack. I'll cut them some slack. Is that winning 4 trophies the season before that, not the Champions League, that is. Maybe they got a little complacent. Whether they kind of got a little, they dropped their eye off the ball. That's what happened to them. I feel that's what happened with Pep as well when the season stopped and started again. I feel City never really came back. You saw them in the Premier League as well. They had games where they blew the opposition away, where fantasy Premier League managers were going crazy, keeping in with City asset to take in, rotating them in and out. And then you had games like the ones against Chelsea, Lyon, and even another 1 or 2 in between, right? Where they had the tendency of, although they're crazy all game and they have all those chances, the game against Bournemouth was a wake-up call for them, right? In the games that they're losing, but the games that they're winning as well. Where other sides feel that they can come back against them. Which is why I think Manchester United got the better of them twice. I feel Chelsea got the better of them. Even Arsenal got the better of them in the FA Cup, right? You need to see those as warning signs that Pep will be worried about this season. And Otamendi, he doesn't trust too much. Stones is a good ball playing centre back, injury prone. So I do feel that the right players might be coming in. They've got Ferran Torres and Ake lined up. But this for me works only one way. City show up and dominate everything. Okay, Liverpool actually drop off more than City do. And City show up and dominate Champions League, dominate the Premier League, right? Or you see a bigger imbalance in the squad where you feel that even with your Ferran Torres coming in, Ake coming in, Koulibaly coming in, they might just look out of sorts.
I think the main thing, coming in from this is the signings have been massive for them. Right? They have addressed key areas, even though I still think they need a centre forward. If I were a City fan, that'd be one thing I'm like, please get someone in place of Aguero, because Jesus just does not cut it in a squad that has so much firepower. Having said all of that, they do have a phenomenal squad. They still have De Bruyne, who sort of stepped up in the leadership role as well. We saw last season he was yelling a lot more. He was a lot more vocal. He was controlling games a lot more, rather than just taking the back seat and letting someone else do it. He's seen David Silva's going, so now he's stepping up for that, right? They also have Raheem Sterling, who's again had a phenomenal season. 20 goals in the Premier League. Like, it's a great season for a winger, that too, nonetheless. So I do see City being a very powerful force to reckon with, but I do agree with Annie. This can go one of two ways. Either Pep can somehow rally the troops and get them fired up and get them going through the season, or this could just go very badly and they all just buckle and sort of fall under it. So before we sort of, wrap this up, because I think we sort of covered all points here. Aniket, what do you think they're finishing this season? And any closing comments from you on your view of how City are going to be?
So I spoke about the strengths of City. So I'll just quickly go over some of one of the weaknesses. So a word that I'll introduce our viewers to, a word that I encountered about City last season, and the word's profligate. It's recklessly misusing your chances and your resources, which is what I felt City's main issue was last year. People might say it was the defense, the lack of a centre-back, Laporte's injury, whatever. I feel it was that they did not take their chances in certain games. If you remember, there was a Liverpool game which they won 4-0. The game after that, they were against Southampton. FPL managers might have been queuing up for some of their players. They ended up losing 1-0, and they had a crazy amount of chance. I think they hit the post 3 or 4 times as well. I can also remember a Spurs game which they lost 2-0. If you remember, Steven Bergwijn's first goal for them. That game again, City were dominating. Zinchenko gets a red card and Spurs win. And there was a game last season as well which they won 3-0 against Fulham. And Pep actually called them into training the next day because he was just unhappy. That game could have been like 7 or 8. That's how dominant they were. So City again, it's about taking your chances when you get them, and at such a high level, it can cost you. Regarding where they'll finish in the Premier League, I think it's going to be tight again. I feel it's such a claustrophobic season. Everything's been compressed into this little game. So I don't think anyone's going to run away with. I think something like 85 to 90 points might just be it for City, and I think they will just whip everyone else to the title. You'll see a lot more upsets, for example. I feel City will have a lot less of that, and I feel they'll win the title this season.
And what's the one City player that you're looking most forward to see this season?
This season, it has to be Phil Foden, because David Silva is gone. Phil Foden. So I was speaking to a City fan today, and he told me that Phil Foden is Pep's guy. So Pep has always had this young player at every squad. At Barcelona, it was Pedro. At Bayern Munich, it was Joshua Kimmich. He's had this player at every squad who can play multiple positions. I feel Phil Foden can be one of that. He's essentially David Silva's replacement, if you want to call him that. But in some of the bigger games, I actually see Gundogan playing with Rodri and Kevin De Bruyne in the midfield, and Phil Foden may be playing off one of the wings, to just give that little bit of control in terms of their passing and technical quality and just keeping the ball. So I feel like this is Phil Foden's season, seeing that he's been coming off the bench in the previous few seasons.
Yeah. Any similar for you, just like sort of your final thoughts on City, where they're going to finish the season, player to watch out for?
Yeah, so player to watch out for me, definitely I agree with Aniket, is Phil Foden. We could finally see a new local talent being developed and could end up being a world beater, right? That's how Pep is rating him in the press conferences in the season and a half before. So I feel this could be a season where we need to focus on Phil Foden as much as other fans would want to focus on Ryan Brewster, Mason Greenwood, the likes of that, right? So I'm really, really thinking that I want to really look at that battle. Apart from that, I feel the way City will line up, I feel Mahrez will start. I don't know what about Jesus. He's not convinced 100%, right? And look at the backup there. They still have Bernardo Silva on the bench. We're not even mentioning Aguero here, but assuming Aguero does start it as well. Aguero, Sterling, Mahrez. Man, like, okay, De Bruyne, it's just Phil Foden, that enough going there for them, right? So I'm not, again, I'm going to just compress all of that, right? From what I said at the start to now. I'm not saying that City can't do it. I'm trying to still be very realistic that, guys, I don't see that 20-point gap happening. And I'm going to double down on that now. But yeah, if you look at a season which is very well compressed like this, where there's no breathing room, your players are going to get injured, who has the side with the best B squad? By a mile. Man City. Manchester United, Liverpool are very far behind here. Even Arsenal have a better youth lineup who play better football when with each other. Chelsea have squad depth this year, unfortunately. I don't know if it's meaningful depth, but they have enough players to come on. So I feel City, just because of that, is very well placed. If you had to ask me, can I guarantee you that they'll finish first? I don't know, but yeah, I would still say that they are still title favorites as of now.
Yeah, interesting. For me, my player to watch out this season is still Kevin De Bruyne. I know it's an obvious one, but that guy, just watching him play as a rival, if it can make you happy, as a United fan watching a City player, if it can make you happy, then there's something really special about that player, right? So for me, Kevin De Bruyne, I think he's going to step it up another notch this season. As you said, right, the core is dwindling away, so this is his time to just step up and kill it. So for me, it's De Bruyne. I'm also interested to see if City bring a marquee signing. Obviously, they were heavily trying to bring in Messi, apparently. That would have been something completely different. This video would have changed on its head. They haven't. Koulibaly, obviously, they're paying big money for him, apparently, but I still think that there might be a marquee signing in there for City, just because that's how City function, right? So it might be interesting to see that. I'm going to stick by, I think it's either City first or third. I don't, they're either there or they're like a gap off. I don't see them being anywhere in the middle. So that's that from me. Thank you once again, everyone, for tuning in. Thanks, Aniket, for coming back in. It's great to have you as always. We're going to keep going on with our season previews leading up to the big kickoff on Saturday once Premier League comes back. So hit subscribe, hit the bell icon, hit like if you're enjoying the videos, leave your comments in, and see you in the next episode.